Hello and welcome to another bite-sized episode of the SportsGrad podcast, proudly supported by Deakin University. Each Thursday, we give you the tactics you can use to land a dream job in sport. This includes things like networking, interviewing, and career direction, but all focused on sport. I'm Ryan Walker, and I'm joined by Ruben Williams.
G'day, Ryan.
Great to have you with me, mate. Now, for more regular content, follow us on LinkedIn and Instagram and TikTok. Just search SportsGrad.
And a quick shout out to all our beloved SportsGrad community members. If you're inside the community, we hope you're loving life. That group of people have secured over 250 jobs in the sports industry. There's over 400 people hanging out in there, meeting people in sports, motivating each other to do better in their career. So if you want to join them, head to www.sportsgrad.com.au/community to get involved. Now, Ryan, today we are talking about participation jobs in sport, and to help us with this episode, we've called on the General Manager of Participation at Swimming Australia, Matt Simpson, to feed in a few examples so that people can understand exactly what goes on in the participation space in sport. Now, firstly, to kick us off, tell us why these jobs are important.
Yeah, exciting. Matt's a legend, so shout out to him. So participation jobs, we all know where they are and why they exist, but they essentially are there to increase people playing sport, getting active, getting social and learning life skills. And of course, there's also the element of building a pathway for people to become elite athletes eventually. So traditionally, these are built purely to build participation, but also ensure people are enjoying their time playing that particular sport and having a great experience so that they remain in the sport long term. So example in swimming, so that starts in what they call learn to swim. And that is really there to give people life skills at a really early age. And then these foundations and lessons learned go through to eventually, hopefully, help people become Olympic athletes or whatever profession they get in. But swimming is sort of a core life skill. So it's very much built at a young age. But for swimming, you know, they hope to help people reach the elite level, but it's also there to learn those life skills so that I guess people can go through their life and be comfortable in a pool.
Fantastic. I remember when I was about 6 or 7 years old, I got taken down to the local swimming pool, taught to swim. So very important job that Swimming Australia are doing.
Yeah, I used to hate swimming lessons, but I love it now. Not that I do lessons, but
good skill to know.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Now tell us, when you're working in participation, what sort of stuff are you doing day to day?
Yeah, there's a number of areas, but I think the main ones are stakeholder management. So dealing with state bodies and volunteers and facility managers, that kind of thing. You're also you're doing sort of product assessment. So making sure that the products you have out there or programs as such are doing what you need them to do. You're doing a lot of data analysis. So looking at where are the participation numbers at, where are they low, where are they high? So do we need to sort of build our programs more around those areas that have low numbers? And of course, you're doing planning for years ahead, trying to predict sort of what support are we going to need in different areas of the country to bolster those numbers up.
Fantastic. And you mentioned stakeholder management. Who do you work with in these sort of roles?
Yeah, so participation roles, I think, has a lot of, government organisations attached to it. So think about, state-run, local-run, those kind of organisations, almost like councils as well. There's a lot of that. But inside of that is like administrators, parents, participants, coaches. A lot of it work with officials as well, so the people who actually allow the game to happen. Obviously, commercial partners and also, co-workers across the country, because it depends where you're at, but if you're a national body, you're dealing with a lot of co-workers across the entire country trying to run the sport on your behalf. So it's really important to, build those relationships.
And finally, whereabouts do you do this job?
Yeah, I think it's a good mix. I think especially participation sport jobs are awesome because you can get out in the field a lot. So there's obviously that time where you're in the office or the home office, whatever that might be, but you're also on the road. So for swimming, for instance, you'll spend a lot of time at the pool and meeting the people who are out in the field, going to events and getting out in the community.
Excellent. And for people who want to dive more into this space, how can they get a job in participation?
Yeah, I think it's probably more around the skills you have more than the qualification that you have. So having really good emotional intelligence and empathy, sort of having that great understanding of what the problems are, building relationships with people on the ground to really see, okay, what do we need to improve on? What do we need to do to make this sport better? Being a great listener, I think that's a super important skill here. Like allowing people to be heard who are actually performing the roles on the ground is super important. And I guess critical thinking and problem solving is another one. But if you obviously would recommend having a uni degree, so Matt said, he had a Master of Sports Admin at Deakin. So those general, I guess, university courses are great, but it's probably more around the specific skills that you have.
Fantastic. Well, I know those type of roles have had a huge impact on our lives growing up. Both learnt to swim, both played a lot of junior cricket, a lot of junior football, junior soccer, all that sort of stuff. And I hope that's led us to being in a pretty good spot now. But you learn a lot from sports. So these participation roles are hugely important to kids growing up.
Yeah, absolutely. If they didn't exist, we probably wouldn't be able to go to the beach.
No, exactly right.
It's crazy when you think about it.
That's right. Awesome. Well, thank you for that. We hope you enjoyed this episode. If you want to connect with us, head to LinkedIn, Ruben Williams, Ryan Walker. Otherwise, find us on social media at SportsGrad. And if you want to jump into the community, head to our website, sportsgrad.com.au/community. And if you love the show, we'd love it if you left a review and rated it 5 stars, of course. Thank you for listening. We'll see you next time.